we can even start off with yourself, Charlotte, because I know with you, I know you help out in regards to client success, in regards to the prospecting processes and things of that nature, as well in terms of the client success team. So you want to discuss even on your end, maybe some things that you see when it comes to prospecting and follow up on your end?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So those who you guys that are tuning in and the business owners that are potentially looking to do prospecting and things of that nature, guys, it's a lot involved with that. It's a lot involved. It's not just reaching out one time and be like, oh, okay, that's all I'm doing. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. It's a constant type of reach out. So, like Gerald mentioned on the top of the live, it's multiple touch points when it comes to prospecting. A lot of business owners don't really understand that. Like one phone call is not going to get it, or one email is not going to get it at times. You have to have multiple touch points when it comes to prospecting, when it comes to even trying to get in contact with people at times, because times you got to think like sometimes people get busy. Sometimes things happen to where you're talking to them in the DMs and sometimes they fall off. They might get busy with their kids or doing something else around their home or what have you. You got to understand how to pick that conversation back up, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's not, again, it's just not one or two time type of situation. It could be like 5, 6 times. It could be 8 times. It could be a lot of times. And not only that, what we've seen too as well when it comes to prospecting in regards to, especially when it comes to like more so on social media, more so when it comes to prospecting on social media, you have to understand too as well that it doesn't matter the time of follow-ups too from it's in certain instances, because it can be like you've been connected with that person for over 2, 3 years. Does that mean you don't reach out to that person? No. It does not. It does
Mm-hmm.
not. You still can reach out to that person even though it has been a while. So that's like some little tidbits that I will actually share when it comes to prospecting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, in terms of myself, I don't highly prospect on the internet like I did for many years during these days, because we actually have a team that assists us with that these days. And for some of you entrepreneurs and business owners that are on here that have been prospecting yourself for a while, and you have been building relationships online yourself for a while and consistently booking high value and qualified appointments yourself and getting clients, you potentially can start to look into building a team as well that can help you with your prospecting efforts. Of course, you have to get it down yourself first, though, which is something that I got down because I actually prospected for years online with the rise of 1%. Now, I would say this: do I still build relationships with people? Absolutely. From time to time, it could be online on any of my other social channels to even offline as well. I'm still building relationships. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to an event in Atlanta tomorrow evening where I'm going out to network and build relationships. So I still network. You should always be still networking
Right.
for your business, whether you build a team to help you or not. But what I will say in terms of my experience with prospecting and even working with our team in terms of prospecting is, for instance, if you're using, let's say, LinkedIn for outreach, of course, you're going to be connecting with people on the platform where you typically send in some type of connection request. And then when they accept that connection request, it's always great as well to go over and really look at their page in terms of who they are, what they do, who they serve, where they're
Yep.
from. Really go down their profile, look at their about section. You can as well look at some of their services, some of their content that they're posting. If you know they as well have their experiences on their page, looking at that, some of their education any recommendations that they may have written up on them. You can go look at all of that. And as well as it's good to genuinely engage on some of their postings on their page, maybe you want to endorse them on some skill sets, things of that nature. And then, of course, you connect with them in the inbox in terms of a connection message, not a sales message. Okay? A connection message, not a sales
Yeah.
message. Because
Yep.
I know even in my DMs to this day, when I do get on LinkedIn from time to time and just check to see what's going on in my DMs, I see at times the first message, people just spamming me. Haven't really went over and really looked at my profile. I could tell by the way that the message is written up. Haven't really did any due diligence on myself, just attempting to go for an ask and sell before really even getting to know myself, as well as building some
Right.
rapport, adding some value. And then if the conversation wavers off into any challenges we may be having, or as well any room for potential strategic partnerships, etc., it could go in that way if the conversation wavers that.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind for your particular business. Now, I will say this as well. At times, that connection message, people are not going to respond.
True.
So that's when the follow up comes into play. That's when the follow up comes on into play. You all give me a second. I had to get some water. I stepped outside. It's pollen season.
Yes.
So for some
I
reason,
already know.
yeah, those allergies kind of kick in. So if you all see me drinking quite a bit of water, that's what's going on there.
Absolutely.
Everything's good though. But what I will say though is if people don't respond to the connection message, then yes, you have to have follow-ups in place, even on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And the follow-up shouldn't be like follow-ups once again to sell hard or to spam people in regards to your products and services. The follow-up should be just maybe introducing yourself. Tell them a little bit about yourself, who you serve, how you serve them, but as well as just still connecting. You don't have to
Yeah.
go immediately for attempting to book a call and the follow-up, anything like that. Just get some insight and feedback from them in terms of what's going on with them at this particular time or what's going on with their business at this particular time or some things that's going on in that industry at this particular time. Gather some of that information in the follow-up message to attempt to get them to respond.
Right.
And also as well, if they're still not responding, what type of valuable piece of content or something that you can share with them? Typically not no long form content either. Some short form content, whether it's a short video or whether it's a piece of some type of article or something or report that you believe will be valuable to them that can educate them. Like I said, that won't take up too much of their time in terms of them actually going through that particular content. What is something you can share with them to engage them and follow up? And then at times as well, people not responding to those messages. You have to go back to what I said at the beginning. You got to go back over and re-engage on some of their posts at times. Maybe do
Yeah.
some more endorsements as well on their page.
Absolutely.
Those are some things you have to do to get people's attention, but you got to constantly follow up, constantly follow up. Don't just let potential friendships or relationships or clients or partnerships that can be formed just go away because you just see that you're not getting the response at that particular time. And like Charlie had said, yes, people get busy. People got things going on in other parts of their lives. People got things going on with their business if they're in business.
Right.
So at times you have to be patient with people, but just continue to follow up. That's what I was saying. Unless they tell you, don't message me ever again,
Right.
or whatever the case may be, I will continue to follow up.
And that's
Now,
fine. If, like you said, that's fine if they do, though.
yeah, yeah, it is. Because you just want a response. And at
Right.
times, it may not necessarily be the most positive response that you may want. At
But
times,
I
hey, you
said,
just want a
wow.
response.
But it's the
Yeah,
truth.
definitely.
It's the truth.
And
It's the
another
truth,
thing
y'all.
too, let's talk about this, Charlotte, in terms of the frequency of follow up.
Right.
Because even when we're following up, and our team is following up with people that we're connecting with daily, it's not typically like every single day. We typically space it out
Right. We
over
space it
a
out.
certain amount of days. You want to talk a little bit about that, Charlotte, in terms of spacing out the follows, not like hitting the person up every single day, multiple times a day, in terms of
Yeah, I
follow up,
wouldn't
like
do it like multiple
frequency.
times a day. Let's do like anywhere from 3 to 5 days in between.
Yeah,
Um, give it some room to actually breathe and stuff like that when it comes
yeah,
to follow ups in those type of situations. Um, also, it just depends on you know that person too as well. And the industry, it's a lot of different factor that comes into play because like Gerald mentioned, people get busy, stuff be happening and things of that nature. So yeah, just give it some days in between. That's the best practice to do. Now of course if they're steady, like if there's now of course if they send like something like say like, oh okay, I don't want you to mess with me anymore, okay, that's fine, and you don't have to message them, but
right.
it's still good to, because the reason why we were saying this because we've been doing this for a while, and what happens is like literally every now and again a person will respond to the very last message that you sent, but
Mm.
they would have never responded to the very last message you sent if you just gave up. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's good to go ahead and space those messages out, but also to be able to continuously to follow up because you never know what resonates in that particular message with that person, if that makes sense.